Hello everyone. Today in this video I am going to explain you what is algorithm. Okay. So in this video we have to know what is algorithm, how to write algorithm, what is the rule we have to follow for the algorithm. But before going to details, we should know what is program. Okay. You know, in the computer we are going to write a program. The program is nothing but what? The set of instructions which help you to solve a problem. Okay. The program is nothing but set of instructions which help you to solve a problem. And that program we have to write in a computer by using certain programming language. Computer programming language. Okay. So for writing a program, the fundamental or the basic step is algorithm. We must know the algorithm, then only we can write the program in a computer by using certain programming language. Okay. The program, that is what the instructions that is given to the computer which perform a certain task for us. So that for the work, that programmer are appointed and the programmer write the program. So a problem is given to the programmer and the programmer analyze the program, find out the solution for it and write the solution by using certain programming language. Okay. So that is directly they have to write in the computer and the computer process it and give you the result. But what is the role of algorithm in the programming? Okay. So the algorithm is again a set of instructions which help you to solve a problem. Okay. So this is the begin step of a program. So that algorithm, actually the algorithm, we have to write on a paper manually. We are not directly write the algorithm in the computer. Okay. In the computer, we have to write the computer program by using programming language. But the algorithm, that is the set of instructions which is written by the programmer on a paper or the manually. Okay. That is the step-by-step procedure by which the problem can be solved, or the solution, the step-by-step procedures. Now a question is arise, how it is different from the computer program. Okay, so first difference already you got, that is you have to write it in the manually in a paper, not directly in the computer. The computer program you have to write in a computer. A programming language you have to follow for writing a program, but for algorithm you don't need any computer language. Okay, just like your computer language Java, C, C++, these are the computer language. So to write the computer program in a computer, you have to learn the programming language, that is C, C++, Java, HTML, all those things. Okay, but for algorithm you don't need any programming language. Now what other differences in the algorithm? Okay, so algorithm is the definition we can learn from the other slides. You just see here, that will be I'm showing you slide. So that is the algorithm. Next, what the definition it is saying, the proper definition. It is the mathematics and computer science. It is used in both in the mathematics and also in the computer science. So algorithm is a finite sequence of well-defined. Finite sequence means the number of steps or the number of lines. It is finite. It is not unlimited. It is a means there is a specific steps. Okay, so the computer implementable instructions means whatever you are writing in an algorithm, that can be converted to the computer program. Okay, so that can be changed to the computer implementable instruction, that which we can use in the computer. Okay, and used for solve a class of problems or to perform a computation or any mathematical calculation or to solve a problem, we have to use the algorithm. Okay, it is always expressed in a way which makes it completely clear what is it meant for and used as specification for performing calculation, data processing and other tasks. What it means, whatever the instructions or lines or statement we are writing in the algorithm, it must be clear, completely clear, that for what purposes we are writing it, for what solution we are finding, for what problem we are going to solve, that everything should be clear in that statement. Okay, for what we are doing the calculation or data processing or any other task, for whom we are going to write that algorithm. Okay, and it is also defined as step-by-step procedures to solve any logical and mathematical problem is called an algorithm. Step-by-step procedures means you cannot sequentially we have to follow. Okay, for example, suppose if I want to prepare a tea, for preparing a tea, what I should do? I should take a saucepan, then I have to pour water, then add sugar, tea leaf, milk, and then boil it, and then I can get the tea. I cannot directly boil it with the milk and get the tea. Okay, the last step I cannot follow. I have to go it sequentially. The first I have to take a saucepan, then I have to pour the water, then I have to add the sugar. The step-by-step procedure we have to follow. Same thing happen here for solving any mathematical problem, like simple interest if I want to solve. Then what happened I have to do? I have to take the principal amount, rate of interest, and time period. All that I have to take, then multiply that, then divide it by 100. Then I can get the simple interest. That is the mathematical problem. What is the logical problem? That will be comparing two number. Okay, fine, taking a particular number for certain things. So that is the logical problem also we can solve that through the algorithm. Okay, so that is the step-by-step procedure. All above the summarized, if I the whole thing, the statement or the instructions or the solution, whatever we are writing in the algorithm, that can be transferable to the computer, and using a programming language we write the instruction and we can get the result, and it will be look like a computer program. Okay, now next what it is saying that what's the rules for writing an algorithm. Okay, so what actually the algorithm, we have to say that the solution of a problem, we are writing a solution for a problem. Okay, that what type of problem, that mathematical problem or logical problem, for whom we are writing the algorithm. Okay, and that is actually meant for what, to write the program in the computer using a programming language. That is the basic step. So the whatever the algorithm we are writing, that use the simple English like language, no rules, no syntax, nothing, no programming language. Whatever the language you are using, the English language which you are using, that English language according to me what I understand the problem, that I have to write, and for the problem I have to write the solution. We have to use the simple English language. So algorithm should be written in the simple English language. Next thing what you have to do, it should be written in simple and precise manner so that everyone can understand it. For whom we are going to write the algorithm, the other person who can read that algorithm and can able to understand it. So it should be simple form. Okay, for algorithm we require the input. Input means the data whatever for solving a problem, that should be there in the algorithm. Okay, and again every step should be in the sequential manner, means one after another. Okay, that should be follow a order. Okay, you cannot reach the last step first. Okay, one can include variable and define mathematical expression to calculate the result. So definitely if you are going to solve a mathematical problem, so the mathematical expression we have to include. Okay, different variable or inputs whatever it is required for calculating, that you have to mention, and the result how we will get, they depend upon the data input or variable. Okay, that we have to discuss clearly what is the meaning of the variable that I am explaining. That is the variable in the letter, just you see. So statement that are similar types should be combined and to avoid lengthy code. So same type of statement should be in a group, so that's why it cannot, means the program should not be very lengthy. Okay, each instruction should be executed within a reasonable time frame. So there should be the program or the statement should be written in such a way that it should not take much more time to solve the problem. Okay, and to ensure that the algorithm produce an expected output, it should be checked using sample value. So what the solution, what the result we are wanting from the algorithm, the result should be we should get from the algorithm. It should be clear and it should be correct in the perfect. So how can you verify it? By giving certain sample value, we can verify that expected output is coming from the algorithm or not. Okay. Next, in the algorithm, before going to the more about the algorithm, certain thing we must clear. When we are writing a program or when we want to solve a problem, for a problem we must need a data. That data is nothing but the input. Later we see what it is known. First we should know what's the meaning of a data. Okay, so data is nothing but what? The facts, concept or instructions. So in a formalized manner, so it will be easy for communication, interpretation or processing by human or in a electronic message. So by human means for a algorithm we are wants to solve a problem. So what should be the data we require? It will be, we can get from the data. Okay, or in the computer if you want to solve a problem, the data also required. So data is nothing but what? It is a facts, concept or instruction in a formalized manner, which will be used for communication, interpretation or process. Okay, it can be the combination of alphabet, it can be the combination of number, it can be combination of symbols. Okay, all this can be data. Okay, now if I am saying that data, that is the student data, that will be roll number, name, mark, all these are the student data. If I am talking about the employee mark, number, mark, you cannot say that employee mark, you can say employee name, salary, date of joining. This is the employee data. Okay, so according to the situation, according to the environment, the data are changed. Okay, now talk about the information. What actually? The information is nothing but the organized or classified data. Okay, so when the data is processed, it gives a information. So what, how the information is different from the data? Data is not having any meaning, but when the data will be organized or processed, it produce the information which has a some meaning. Okay, some meaningful value for the receiver. Okay, if I am saying 1, so nothing will be understood from there. If I am writing roll number is 1, then you one anybody can understand that is the student roll number is 1. So it is in a meaningful way we are giving. Okay, so that is the information. Now the information and the data are very useful for taking a decision. So algorithm generally we are writing for taking a decision, the program we are writing for taking a decision. So for decision to be meaningful, the process data must qualify for the following characteristic. Means what is the characteristic of the information? The information always be available in time. Suppose if I want to go to outside and it will be maybe rain, I don't having any knowledge whether the how is the weather. Okay, in the middle of the way I get that is the raining start. So if I am not taking the umbrella, then I will be totally hopeless, and what I will should do that time. So if I got the information timely that there maybe the weather will be going to be bad, the storm may come, the raining will be happen, so then I have to prepare myself. So the information always should be provided in a proper proper time. Okay, accuracy, the correct information should be provided. Incorrect information, nowadays the incorrect informations are coming up and the rumor is going on. So the information always be accurate or correct. Okay, and in a perfect complete form. Now if I am saying that school is if I'm reaching, I got the information school will be closed today, but I don't know why the school will be closed. So the proper information, the correct information we should get, then only we can take a decision. And half information always be harmful to the person. So whenever you are provide any information, it should be in the complete in its nature. Okay, next comes to the data processing cycle. It is also having a certain meaning to for the algorithm. Before going to the algorithm, you can know what is the meaning of the data processing cycle. Actually in the computer, what we do, we are writing the program for input the data, process the data and produce the result. So it is in a method or in a structured way it is working. Okay, so for solving any problem, that same process has to be followed, and that process is called data processing cycle. So data processing cycle is nothing but restructuring or reordering the data by the people or the machine. That same thing. For the people who are writing the algorithm or in the computer who are writing the program, for both them the data processing cycle is same. So they are increase their usefulness and they add the value for a particular purpose. If you follow a structure, if you follow a order, then only we can get a purposeful result or output, or correct result or output, or useful data or output. So data processing consists of the following basic step. First it needs the input, then it needs to be processed, and then it has to be need to be output. Okay, so these steps, 3 steps are very important. So what we can say, the input, suppose for example, if I'm finding if I'm asked to find out the simple interest. Okay, for the simple interest, what will be the input? What will be the input? Principal amount, rate of interest, and the time. These are 3 are the input. So what is the process? The mathematical calculations, that is the process, that will be P into R into T divided by 100. That is the process or calculation. And it's provided us what? Simple interest. So that is nothing but what? The output. So the input is the PRT. The output is the simple interest, and the process will be P into R into T. So that will be in a structures. So first we give the input, then we have to process it, then we have to find out the result or the output. So these 3 steps always it will be in the manually if you are doing by writing the algorithm, or you are converting into the computer program using programming language. In both the cases, you have to follow this data processing cycle. Now here it is clearly written what is the meaning of input. In this step, the input data is prepared in some convenient form of processing. For processing or for calculations, anything what you are going to do, for that the input is most. So input data, they depend upon the form will be depend on the processing machine. Okay, so when in electronic machine if you are talking, then it is the input data can be recorded any one of the several type input mediums such as magnetic disk, tape. These are the medium through which we can provide the input to the computer. Okay, that from the keyboard we can type the data, from the disk we can send, from the tape we can send the data or give the input to the electronic medium. Okay, but if you am writing the manually the algorithm, then the input I have to collect and write it in the paper. Okay, now the processing also, it is depend upon the medium. The steps input data is changed to the produce data in a more useful form. So the processing will be do, take the input paychecks can be calculated from the time card, or summary sales of the month can be calculated from the sales order. Okay, now I can see the result sheet. The mark, individual mark are the input. Then we are calculate the total percentage and average, that is the going to be do the processing. Okay, and when it is final results, it is produce the grade, the average, the percentage, that is the output. Okay, so that is the last stage. So the result of processing step is collected, and the form of output data depend on the use of the data. So output data may be paychecks or for the employee. Okay, so calculate generating the paychecks, it will be collected from the time card. What that has to be collected? That is the salary, their basics, their DA, CA, TA, all these are number of days he was working. All these are collected and then prepare the paychecks. And these paychecks will be collected by the employee to collect their salary. Okay, same way summary of the sales, that will be how much product is coming, what is the rate, what is the quantity, that everything will be multiplied, and final sales summary sales will for the month has to be prepared by the processing, and the result will be summary sales. Okay, so whatever we are thinking, just first we need the input, then it needs to be processed and it is produced the output. That is same for the algorithm and for the computer program. So for just example, again I am giving the same example, the student example, where the student name, roll number, mark are the input, and then when we process total the mark, find out the percentage, average, this is the process, and the result will be the name, roll number, average, percentage, all these are there, grade, these are the output of the student. So this process will be going on. So for solving a problem, if we summarize the thing, we can get, for solving a problem we always need a input, and we must know what process we have to do to get the expected output or the result. Okay, now comes to the variable. That variable we have seen in the rules of the whatever the rules we have followed, rules for writing the algorithm, one can include the variables. Okay, so we must know about the certain things about the variables also. The variables actually it is used for the computer electronic machine, but for algorithm also you have to use. So the variable is the reserved area allocated in the memory in the computer. Okay, but in the algorithm it is not having the any memory. So here variable is nothing but the data which is always be changed. Okay, so variable means it value can be changed, that you have to remember. And this one you have to remember for the computer, that is a memory location where the data going to be changed, the value has to be changed. Okay, it is not permanent. X is 50, next time X is 60 can be possible, X is 100 can be possible. So the value can be changed. The value whose the data whose value has to be changed, not fixed, that is called as a variable. Okay, and the constant which is the value is fixed, it is never changed, that is called as a constant. So these two things also we are going to use in our algorithm or program. So that's why I am explaining what is variable and the constant. Now what are the characteristic of an algorithm? Now what is the characteristic? Means there is the good algorithm should have these following things. It must have an input. An algorithm accept any input. I already explained what is the need of input. Generality, an algorithm work as a set of input. The set of input, not a single input. So many input it will require. Each instruct definiteness, that is each instruction should be written in a simple and precise manner so that everyone can understand. That simple and clear and not lengthy. It will be very short. Okay, so it can be the other person can understand what we want to say or what we want to go to solve. Each step of an algorithm should be uniquely identified, not repeated. Okay, uniqueness. The identify and output of each step should be depend on the previous step. So the first step, second step, third step, it is sequentially going on, and the result or the output always be depend upon the previous step. Fitness, it should be involved finite number of steps to reach a solution. So number of steps should be limited. Okay, and after the instruction that are executed, the user must be get the desired result, and the output can be varied by giving certain sample value. Now the algorithm, from summarize the things, we can say that the algorithm must require the input, and that should be the algorithm must be simple and clear so other can understand. It has a limited number, specific finite number of steps. Okay, that will be the result or output must be correct, or desired result or output, it should be fulfilled to get what the output demand by the problem. Okay, just like if I want to go to the simple interest, I'm not going to calculate the compound interest. Now the problem is asking for the simple interest, so we must find the solution for the simple interest. Okay, next you can understand from the example I have given. So how to write the algorithm? Here you see the question is first, my advice is that whenever you are going to write the algorithm, first you should read the question 2 to 3 times. First you understand what the question is asking, and you are able to find out what's the input or the data, what is needs the process or calculation, and what the output or the result. Okay, that you must clarify. So calculate the sum and average of the three number. So from this question, what we have to do, find out the sum and average of whom? Of the three number. So I have divided the things. So what to do? It is not required you start from here, but for your analysis you require to do such a way. So input who are, that is the A, B, C. Three number I am taking. This is A, B, C. Now one can ask that why we are not taking 10, 15, 20? Why we are not taking like that? So here in the algorithm, yeah, computer program, you do not take directly the value. You always be takes the variable. These are called as a variable. Okay, so variable will be the A, B, C. If you take the value, then also possible, but always be take the, instead of taking the value directly, you have to assign the value to the variable. So this A, B, C are known as a variable, and this A, B, C, and when you have to do the process, that is the sum and the average, and this A, B, C value has to be input by the user. Okay, and the sum and average we have to calculate. The result or output is the sum and the average. So first the steps how you have to write. The first you have to write for the algorithm is start. Then step 1, step 2, step 3, like this we have to write. So first what you have to do, input the first number. Input is the word that you have to follow. Input means the user has to give the data for the problem from the keyboard. When we convert into the program in computer by using programming language, input means the data has to be provided from the keyboard. So input means we give the data to the for the problem. We are providing the data to the problem. We are not taking the 10, 20, 15. We are taking the variable. So input the value to the variable. This is the meaning. Input the value to the variable. So we write the statement, input the first number A. input the second number B, input the third number C. Now you are not acquainted, but still you are able to understand what I want to see you. So my question is asking 3 number add and find the average. So 3 number means A, B, C I am adding, inputting. So input the first number. First I should input the value, then only I can find out the sum and average. So that's why first I will input the first number, then the second number, then the third number. Okay, and find the sum. That's keyword, the find, you have directly you can write, so the other person can understand what you have to do. You have to add these 3 number. Then find the average. How to get the average? AB plus A plus B plus C by 3. So you have to find the average. Then what you calculate? The result is what? The sum and average. So print. So for input you are writing input. For displaying the result you are writing the print. Okay, so this you have to write print for displaying the result and input for giving the data for the problem, and find what you have to do the calculation. Okay, so another method also I can give you, that later I will show you. Another example I have to explain you here. You just see here. Another example, so compare 2 number, that logical operation. In the previous we have discussed that is what the things has to be done. That will be calculate the logical and mathematical problem we have discussed. So mathematical calculation you have seen, sum and average. Logical, how can I do? So logical, you just see from the second example, the compare 2 number and find the greater one. Okay, so this is the method. So input is what? 3 number again. Not 3 number, we have to compare, and this 2 number A and B, and because it is written as the 2 number we have to compare and find the greater one. So C you have to remove. So compare 3 number and among themselves you have to find the greater number. Okay, so you have to see here, input 2 numbers, store them in A and B. Okay, so input 2 number, store the value in A and B, and then check whether, directly we are writing, check whether A is equal to B. If A is equal to B, then it is the go to the third step, that both are equal. And if it is not A is equal to B, then go to the fourth step. So what is the fourth step? Fourth step, it is written again, you have to compare A is greater than B. If A is not equal to B, then A is greater than B. If A is greater than B, go to the fifth step. Fifth step, A is greater, we are displaying. And if it is not, then go to the sixth, B is greater. If A is not equal to B, A is not greater than B, then obviously B is greater. So it is stop. So it is simply we are writing the things how we have to write. So here we have to see the input, the same thing we have to write, input number A and B, because the 2 number it is given. Okay, A and B, and check whether the A, first we are checking A is equal to B, second we are checking A is greater than B, third we are alternatively, if A is not greater than B, then B is greater. So here the formula or the procedure you have to follow. So other can see here and can understand what it is written. So I think everybody can understand what is the algorithm means. A problem is given to you, and whatever you understand from the problem, that you find out what you have to give the for the required for the problem to solve the problem, what that is input, and then what calculations or operation we have to do, that is the processing, and what result from the processing we will get, that is the output or the result. These 3 things you have to do, and then start, and then last you have to stop. So start is the begin and stop is the end, and then step 1, step 2, step 3, for like that you have to write. So for input you have to write the word input, for display the result you have to write the word print, and in between if you comparing, then compare, then if you are calculating, then find. That type of words you can write. So these 3 words I am writing. One is the input for giving the data, for calculating you have to find, and for showing the result that you have to write the print. And I hope all of you understood. I'll provide you some more problems by solving it, so you will be more clear from it. Okay, thank you.